All right, folks, my name is Jason Ray. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Paperless Parts. Today, I'm here with Daniel Bourquin from MEC. This is Cutting Through the Noise, where we talk about the reality that surrounds all the hype. Because I think you get a lot of buzzwords in this industry. There are podcasts talking about this and that. And we like to take the perspective of talking to people who are really making things happen, who can actually lay out what's the wheat and what's the chaff. Where's the reality and everything that people are talking about. So Daniel, do me a favor, introduce yourself, get a little background, tell us what MEC does and who you guys are. I certainly hope everyone knows MEC, but you never know.
Yeah, appreciate it. Good to see you, Jason. We've known each other for a while now and had some previous successes. Dan Bourquin, I'm CIO of Mayville Engineering Corp, or referred to as MEC. MEC is an 80-year-old contract manufacturer, and we are a large value-added supply chain partner to some of the largest companies in the world, from Caterpillar to John Deere to defense industry to construction, off-road, power sports, and many others. So I've been here for about 2 years as the first CIO for the organization that's really going through a major business transformation, a major standardization, a one MEC, one enterprise, one mission sort of look and feel, and that's going to be very challenging for us. So I'm in year 30 of IT. Previously spent all of my years in manufacturing, one for 22 years at a large OEM here in the Milwaukee area, a great company, Generac Power Systems, where I cut my teeth on a lot of the things that shaped what I do today. So MEC, 80-year-old company, grew for 65 years through organic growth in Wisconsin, and then five significant acquisitions later, we find ourselves in many states across the Midwest, 16 campuses, domestic, with 23 facilities that we service our customers in. And recent efforts to modernize all of our value streams led us back down the path to discussing this with your team at Paperless Parts. Prior to MEC, I spent 2 years at a small company called Fathom, who you know very well,
Yep.
and we both appreciate it. And that's how I got introduced to your platform and your team, and had some success there. And looking forward to the transformations that you and your team are helping us lead today. So really been fortunate to partner with the exec team here at MEC and be able to upskill my team, kind of club up in IT as we face basically every value stream that we had was littered with 30-year-old, 20-year-old technology platforms. As we acquired companies, the IT integration sort of fell off the roadmap, and there was a conscious decision to run these sites separately with their systems. And now, new focus on one MEC, one mission has led us to, believe that one enterprise that sort of looks at all of our customer demand in one big bucket and take all of our collective capabilities across 16 campuses to be able to service those customers is the right game plan for us. But being in 7 different transactional ERP systems and systems that were great 20 years ago, that just don't offer the modern capabilities that you and I appreciate today, has led us to where we are today. So yeah, great
It's
to join you today, and looking forward to the discussion.
And it's not a unique position from the perspective of, I mean, you and I've seen this now for years. The industry is rolling up, private equity comes in, a lot of the operators know how to acquire companies. They don't really know what integrating systems and migrating systems means,
Yeah.
and they don't really understand that the thesis that underwrites their acquisitions of economies of scale and increased capacity and cross-selling and all this that goes into making a multi-site organization or a roll-up act as an individual entity. They don't realize that there's a lot of wood to chop between between that idea and it actually, in principle being great and in practice being incredibly difficult. So what you guys have done at MEC, even thus far, is incredible. I mean, you're number one on the Fab 40 list. You guys have such an incredible reputation in the industry. So we're grateful for the opportunity to partner with you. You have such an awesome purview here because you've sat at the intersection of industrial manufacturing and technology for decades. So you've seen, one, you've watched technology evolve at a very rapid pace. You've also seen the acceleration of industrial hardware and manufacturing accelerate. So I think you have this purview that you understand that technology is only as good as how it gets used, right? Like you could have the most whiz bang solution, but if you're not there working with the people on the ground, managing the change management, I think you guys, your initiative is it MBX? Is that right? You talk a little bit about that and how you guys are approaching the change management aspects?
Yeah, MBX is our overall corporate strategy to be lean, to be one business system, to be one enterprise, and there's many things to that. To a sustained commitment to Kaizen events and cost effectiveness and leaning out waste out of the process, but also now, just in the last 2 years, focusing on our business platform transformation. And you're correct. It's not, necessarily the technology that's going to create the value. It's how we deploy it. It's how we partner with the rest of the business. And we were a fragmented business for many years coming together. And so, there's a couple of things that I tell my team. One is, if we're not owning this transformation path with the business. If you're not waking up every single day working on one of the top 5 things in the organization, you should ask your boss why. And maybe I'm a little bit old school, but I mean, who wouldn't want to wake up and work on the most important things in the organization? I think most IT people want that. So that's a consistent message that I give my team. The second thing is approaching this by the entire value stream, not just one single piece. We could take quoting and estimating, for example. We could implement paperless parts, have a fantastic implementation, but if we lost sight of the entire value stream, and it's different for an OEM like Generac, it's very much different for a contract manufacturer like Fathom, and now a larger enterprise contract manufacturer like MEC. That entire value stream is, do not lose sight of reimagining that entire value stream from CRM to quoting and estimating to the handoff to ERP and the successful handoff and all of the things integrate, be good in integration and automations. And yeah, very, very unique perspective over 30 years. I 4 years ago, I had no idea what the difference. I just thought manufacturing is manufacturing, and the approach that you take as an OEM, as the designer of your products versus a contract manufacturer like MEC has been a really interesting and fun ride for me. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
And I love that you mentioned value stream. It always amazes me when we talk to manufacturers that do not have a value stream map for their processes. They don't have it. They don't really think about it. And it just seems so fundamental. Like
Yes,
you
it
can't
does.
change a process you don't understand.
Right.
So is that, how do you have a massive organization to map. How do you guys approach that? How do you win the hearts and minds and get people to open up about what they actually do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, repetition. So the concept of value stream mapping was introduced to me probably 12 years ago in a very large ERP implementation. And just the simplicity of that concept and the way that if you approach every single value stream correctly from top to bottom, how it alleviates missing some of the, any of those components. I used to think, let's implement a piece of software. Now we think of let's reimagine the entire value stream from top to bottom and make sure that we're encompassing every single component. MEC, a very, very much single plant minded. We have 7 ERP systems, so it's very much ERP minded, not a whole lot of thought put into the entire value stream. So I've never seen a better example or a better use case than Mayville Engineering Corp to attack this modernization, this transformation by value stream. And we've already proved some success. Take the hire to retire value stream. A year ago, we had 10 separate HR platforms, from payroll to talent management to performance management. All have been eliminated, onboarded onto one, single cloud-based HRIS platform. And we got to demonstrate the value of a value stream approach, show that to the company. That gained us some wins. We then turned our focus to maybe the most differentiating value stream that MEC has, which is lead to order. Like we have to be hunters, we have to be farmers. We don't make anything of our own. We have to make your parts better than you. And so every day we need to wake up and find opportunities to quote and estimate. And so having that win in hire to retire led us to having some points to reimagine the entire lead to order value stream. And that's where we sit today with your team. And that's going to pay benefits as, we're sort of gluttons for punishment here. Doing 2 value streams isn't enough. We have to do all 5 at the same time. We're now embarking on, a very large ERP modernization for all the value streams that are left: supply chain, operations, and finance. So pretty exciting.
So, I mean, it is super exciting. And it probably keeps you awake at night thinking about
Yeah.
all the moving pieces,
Yep.
a lot of pieces on
Yep.
the board to keep track of.
Couple.
As you think about this, so like talk about your hire to retire value stream. You can't just go out and, I mean, you can, but I assume as a public company and as a company that's been in business for 80 years, when you're picking partners, you have to be pretty selective with who you want to work with. How do you think about that? Like I find that so often I mean, we were that 10 years ago, we were that,
You were
baby
that.
startup,
You were that guy,
and
right?
people wouldn't give us a shot. It took us a long time to prove that we were going to be around. How do you guys think about it? How do you think about evaluating partners? You must have a lot of focus on security. What's your stance?
Yeah, I got a little crystal ball right over here on my desk. I just look into it and say, is this organization going to be around in 10 years? No. One was I previously mentioned I clubbed up in IT, and I was fortunate to be able to hire some veteran leadership around me in the areas of security, vendor management, folks that have spent a lifetime reviewing SOWs and MSAs and all of those things that some of us just, we want to focus on technology. So that's one. Secondly, just have a really great partner network of other CIOs that we talk to, and we kick around ideas. And so yes, people talk, and we have our own networks on the inside, so to speak, to talk about partners. Third, to me, the right partner, I would say, it doesn't matter as much. It matters more than the actual technology itself. So for me, it also comes down to a gut feel of which partners are going to own the outcome with me. And I used to think of the outcome is to implement this ERP package, or the outcome is to implement new quoting and estimating software. The outcome that I've owned with my exec teams, I'm going to own an increase in 3% in our win rate.
Yeah.
That's the outcome I'm owning. And being able to find that partner that comes in and walks and talks and breathes of the outcome of the win rate, not the successful implementations, are the ones that find themselves on the top of the list for us. And certainly your team, having known them for a while, they come in walking and talking as if, we're going to own the win rate success, not successfully implementing paperless parts at the MEC Raleigh facility. Although underneath that, yes, that is the work, and we have people that block and tackle, and sometimes it's hard to get 11 people in a huddle and just get them to the line of scrimmage. But those are the everyday battles. So, and I've got board of directors, I've got exec team, I've got help in legal that helps me vet out some of those partners. We like Gartner, we like conferences, we like all of those things. But together, it's a big wheel, and I put all those pieces together, and so far, we've picked some really good partners along the way. So
Any telltale signs what you look for in evaluating partners? Anything that you're just like, it just throws you off the scent quickly?
recently, if they don't bring in food, other than that, no,
Food is important.
it's the the ability to understand and own the outcome, to have those discussions about the business outcome,
Yeah.
um, not just the tech aspects of their platform or security or their implementation methodology. It's top to top, talking about how they will own the business outcome with us is has has sort of risen to the top for us, Jason. Yeah.
It's super helpful. And I think it was a fundamental change in our business probably about 5 years ago where we stepped back and we said, okay, like we can't have teams owning steps of the process. We all have to be
No.
aligned around the goals of the customer because
Great.
retention doesn't happen if customers are not achieving their goals. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a pretty
It's hard
pivotal.
to spot sometimes, but you'll get a sense that the entire team has 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 been led to this point where they walk and talk the same as you, and they're talking about the same business outcomes, not just a successful tech implementation. And it's now that I know how to spot it, it's very easy to spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's helpful. So you've got to be wearing the short term, knock things out hat, and also with all the moving pieces, you kind of have to be thinking a bunch of moves ahead. What is what do you think the next few years look like? And what's going to separate the firms that are on the winning side of the table? I mean, just lay it out for you. It's unbelievable the contrast in the stories that we hear from some of the shops we talk to. There are customers of ours that have never been busier. They're to the wall. They're running shifts. They're trying to hire. And then we will get on the phone and there will be shops that are just crickets. And it's a feast or famine. And I must say I don't actually understand why these shops fall out of the bottom other than they just kind of are insular in the way they work and they've got the same customer base. But what do you think is going to be the key differentiator over the next few years as the industry turns over, we have consolidation, we've got pretty substantial macro tailwinds, I think, assuming we get out of this
Yeah.
whole thing with the
Yep.
energy problems and you see defense spending kick up and data centers continue and that bubble doesn't explode in our faces and things like that. But I think the next few years will be pretty strong. But what do you think is going to separate the shops that are winning?
Yeah, and I'll speak in terms of contract manufacturers, right?
Yeah,
Or from
absolutely.
job shop to the
Yeah.
number one in the Fab 40, which is MEC. To me, it's simply speed and agility. We're seeing so much fragmentation. We're seeing demands for faster RFQ cycles. And so, um, if you look at our business, we've had some traditional end markets um, that we don't necessarily want to rely on to be a large portion of our business anymore because they can have extended down cycles. And we have new end markets that we are attacking aggressively, and same as others. And just say the word data center, right? We see that as a major 5-year uplift for us, but beyond that, may or may not
Oh,
be. But we're
yeah.
fine with that. What leads us to be good at that is the speed and agility. And if I tie it back to what I have to do, it's modernize an entire value stream again, not just quoting and estimating. We were running on a 30-year-old quoting platform that was great for this organization, responsible for billions of dollars of revenue over
I believe
25
it.
years.
Yeah.
But we just sent that system its 24th birthday card last week, I think. So, imagine the functionality and the things that you and I know in a modern application, a modern portfolio that exists, from just document management to workflow to 3D visualization of BOM and routing and auto creation and like all of the things that maybe we took for granted over the last 4 years. Those are the types of things down here, blocking and tackling, will get us to the speed and agility, which will allow us at the macro level to still be the contract manufacturer that can shift faster than anyone else. Attack this data center, because in 3 years the market might be power sports again, or so. Who knows, right? But our ability to just shift gears with speed and agility into that end market is going to be key for us, and that's why this is such an exciting adventure here at MEC, because we have an exec team and a board that is very much aligned on the transformation that's needed. So
Yeah, that has been just an observation from the outside. It does really feel like your executive team, you guys play as an individual, as a unit, as a one team, thinking about how you move the company
no
forward.
doubt,
And
yeah,
I think that makes you very unique in your size, because I think we've seen across some of these larger organizations is you get a lot of siloed leadership, and you get a lot of, this division or this company's running this direction, this site's running that direction, and trying to unite everyone. It seems like you all have done a fantastic job with that.
I think they have, and not to pat myself on the back, what was missing at the exec team level was a change agent who can balance technology, organizational change management, which for many organizations, MEC including, used to be balloons and t-shirts and cake, and now we understand what it really means. Um, just a message to all of those out there who want to be the CIO for an organization. You don't have to be the tech expert. That can be your team. Be the change agent for the exec team to facilitate that change. And again, own a business outcome called increase win rate by 3%, not called implement the software solution. Walk and talk in those terms. And that was the missing piece here at MEC. And I feel like together as a unit, it's starting to move forward really strong. So
That's awesome to see. Hey, any last thoughts you want to share with folks? Anything that you're hearing that you think might be a little more noise than reality in the market? I mean, we didn't dive down the AI path. I
we
feel
didn't
like
use
I feel
yeah,
like if we don't say it a few times, it's going to negatively impact our stock prices. So, I mean,
right.
anything you're hearing out there that you're just not quite sure there's a lot of wood behind the arrow.
No, I think there's a lot of wood behind it. We have a very enthusiastic CEO and exec team on AI, and we are very enthusiastic as well. And how we're approaching it is multi-layered, multifaceted. We're gonna help employees through individual contributor tools like the co-pilots of the world. We're going to attack every value stream, and it's not just what software are we plugging in. We're going to, and you've seen our lead to order reimagined value stream. It's automations, it's AI engines, and so again, thinking of it by value stream, I think gives you a strong way to present it back to your exec team versus a little bit scattered. Um, and then finally, not to slow the process down, but we've had to really take a hard look at AI and say, look, this is a capability, not a software platform you buy. And what I mean by that, I draw the parallel to cybersecurity. If I look at cybersecurity, I have all the data, people, software platforms, governance, steering committees that I need to run a successful cybersecurity capability. It wasn't just a software platform that we used to buy called antivirus software. It's
Yeah.
now all those 5 milestones. If I look at AI, 6 months ago, MEC had zero of those. I couldn't put a green check mark on any of those. So that's the roadmap that we've put in front of Jag and the rest of the exec team. Is this needs to be a muscle, a capability that we build, not just we buy Claude or we buy some platform to sit on top of paperless parts. All those will be components of it, but without the data, I have 4 people that wake up every day focusing on cybersecurity. I got 0 that focus on AI. So why do we think we'll be successful if we don't build out those milestones? So that's how we're approaching it. You could say, we're being very careful. I don't necessarily have the funds to be one of the 75% that never get out of POV phase or POC phase. Like we want to pick something that's going to come to fruition. We feel very confident about um, the lead to order value stream here at MEC is the differentiator,
Yeah.
and that's what will put us on top. And so focusing on some examples there for us has been the focus. So still a long ways to go.
We're definitely excited to be a part of it. Dan, I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today. Share some
Great.
insights from
Yeah.
MEC. You guys built a fantastic company, and we're grateful for the opportunity to work with you.
We are thankful for the partnership, and again, how your team comes in owning the outcome with us, not just an implementation. So really impressed with your team, and as you know, we've been working together for 4 years, and looking forward to the success. So
Likewise. Well, thank you.
awesome. Thank you.